Arsenal are on fire today, and absolutely they things done. They are hitting up and they are getting movement in the transfer window. And this is what is going to be exciting about what we are talking about today. Because Arsenal have gotten two players signed today, signed, sealed, delivered today. And that is what we are going to be focusing on right now. And after that, we go deeper into what we are talking about in terms of the transfer window, the likes of what's his name? The likes of Ansu Fati going to AS Monaco. So many things happening in the transfer window, but I'm telling you, it is going to be exciting. So you guys keep locked in, and let's get into this. And we going to be talking much more about the transfer window. So let's go as we get started. Now, first things first about this situation. Arsenal went into the market today and they wanted to get something done. And that is what they did. Before we go into this story, you want to know for sure that Arsenal are actually doing the right thing. Arsenal have just lost Jorginho and lost Thomas Partey in this transfer window. And what have they done to do the replacement for those two players? They have gotten Martin Zubimendi, and they just went into Brentford and got their captain in Christian Odegaard, because Fabrizio Romano has just dropped the knowledge. And he says Christian Odegaard, I said Odegaard, Christian Nørgaard to Arsenal is a here we go. Agreement done club to club after 11 million euros proposal sent today. Personnel terms also agreed with Nørgaard set for his medical. Brentford have authorized the player to travel. New midfielder in place of Thomas Partey. I don't think this is actually a replacement for Thomas Partey. I think it's a replacement for what's his name, for Jorginho. Why Zubimendi is a replacement for Thomas Partey. However, it would have been a lot better to see that Thomas Partey stayed in this situation. But one thing is for sure. One thing is definitely for sure. You are getting a player in Christian Nørgaard, a baller, someone that has done it in a really good side, that has basically he's a leader. Arsenal absolutely needs this situation. And let me tell you this situation because I know it could be looked as what they call it. It could be looked as in this situation here. It could be looked as how would I put this? It could be looked as a very um bad kind of situation, in a underwhelming, that's the word. It could be looked at very underwhelming in this situation, but I want you guys to understand what Liverpool did last summer. Liverpool went into the market and got Endo, understanding that they had Gravenberch. This is an addition based on true club depth, based on understanding that they need depth in the midfield, and that is why I think this deal will be absolutely spot on for them to actually get done. Christian Norgard to Arsenal is a here we go. And the fact of how effective Arsenal were to actually getting this done is actually quite impressive, in my opinion. Because Christian Norgard, the reports came out today that Arsenal, in this morning, the Arsenal were exploring the signing of Christian Norgard with Brentford. And guess what? Right during lunchtime, we get the here we go, because Brentford basically gave them the price. Arsenal paid the price, or agreed to pay the price, and they have gotten their man because Christian Norgard wants to go to Arsenal. And this is really good for the kid and also for Arsenal, because they are getting a talented footballer, not just that, Premier League proven, but also they are getting someone that understands what it means to lead men, or someone that understands what it means to lead men. And this is going to be um, a good, how would I put it? A good signing, because he's not going to demand a lot. He's not going to demand too much, but he understands his role, and he is just going to Arsenal to make sure that they can get better going forward. Second person that has joined Arsenal today that Fabrizio Romano has just dropped. The news is Kepa Arrizabalaga. I do not know how to pronounce his name, so you guys bear with me. But Kepa to Arsenal is a here we go. Deal done for the Spanish goalkeeper to join Arsenal as a new backup for David Raya. Arsenal activates the 5 million pounds clause from Chelsea, and all documents are now sealed. One more addition to Arteta's after Zubimendi. And of course, Christian Nørgaard. This situation is absolutely amazing in my mind because when you look at this situation, you understand how great Arsenal have done in this situation. How great they have done in actually just making things clear that this is what they want to do. They went into the market. They are still discussing with Benjamin Sheshko. Even talking about Benjamin Sheshko, there's there is quite um a rumor going on that Benjamin Sheshko has basically followed Arsenal on Instagram, and to what that may be, Benjamin Sheshko apparently is following Arsenal. And in this situation, you might think, okay, this deal is done, but I think this is a good hint to know that he wants to join Arsenal. It is a good hint to know that he wants to join Arsenal. And to me, I think this would have been a better settling for Arsenal. I think they should go get Benjamin Sheshko. Believe he's the right man for Arsenal. And I think things will get really, really testy if they go in for Jokeres and it is not the right man, because I believe this is a battle between Mikel Arteta and Andre Berta. I understand it's not like a conflict. It's more of a situation where I like this person more than I like this person. And Andre Berta is someone that, while he was in Atletico Madrid, he always had the reputation of negotiating with two people, two players first, before he then chooses on which one he wants or which one best suits the team. And that's what he goes for. So it definitely is something that is quite impressive. And in fact, I'm going to show you guys what is happening here because it is crazy to think about. This is Benjamin Sheshko right here. Benjamin Sheshko absolutely following Arsenal. It is mind blowing. Look at it. Benjamin Sheshko. I don't know, this is in a different language, but it basically says following, my followers. And then you see Arsenal. He's following Arsenal. If be that what may, if you think that this is not anything and should not be taken into big. I think it's a cute hint of what is coming, and it's a hint of what could be. And to me, that's exciting. To me, that's exciting because we are going to be seeing one of the best Premier League seasons this year. Because Benjamin Sheshko in the Premier League, Victor Yokeresh in the Premier League is only going to be definitely high class football. In fact, let me actually put it here. I think we need to start a poll. And the poll is basically Arsenal fans. This is for Arsenal fans. Who would you rather have? Sheshko? I want you guys to actually answer this. So Sheshko or Gyökeres? Let's hear from everyone. Arsenal fans, especially. Who would you rather have? Would you rather have Keshko or Gyökeres? Because this is a big one in my mind. I think this decision here would absolutely make or break Mikel Arteta. Make or break Mikel Arteta, because in my mind, I think this is a situation that could be honestly could be a lot determining on what we are actually going to be seeing going forward. Because Benjamin Sheshko is not just a striker that sits in the middle. He's also somebody that would sway to the left, sway to the right, and actually try and get into the game. His shots from outside the box is crazy. He is strong, he is big, and he's honestly someone that can actually push people forward. So I need you guys to let me know who you think will be the best suited for this situation, because when I'm telling you this, Benjamin Sheshko or Victor Yokeres, I believe Arsenal would get one of the two. It's just which one would Berta actually choose in this situation. Now that's the question. Now we also have something crazy because Napoli are progressing in talks to sign Dan Ndoye with personal terms now almost agreed. Discussions ongoing with Bologna. Conte has approved Ndoye as a target already last month, as reported. Jadon Sancho remains on the Napoli list, but not current salary or conditions. So this is what is happening in this situation. It is quite disappointing in my mind because um, I think Napoli needs to make a decision real quick to actually get these things done. Ndoye is really a baller. He has done really well for Bologna, leading them and actually being part of the huge team that got to get them this Coppa from Italy. So I think this is their first title in a very long time, if I'm not mistaken. So this is a big one. This is a good one in my mind that is happening. It's definitely a good one in my mind. But that's kind of what is happening with Napoli. Let's see. Let's see what next. What next is happening because the football world is just heating up. We are literally seeing a lot of things happening. And of course, the Club World Cup is definitely going on. So a lot of things are a little bit slower nowadays. So we are going to be keeping you guys updated. Once anything happens any further, we are going to make sure you guys actually know about it. Um, let's see what else are people actually talking about here. Okay, one thing about Brian Mbuemo is Ross Hoyland, which is somebody that I just got to find out now. I really do not know him for a very, very good source, but I want to give him the credit because he's putting his name behind it, right? He's putting his name behind it. He has literally said, let's see. Okay, this is perfect. He literally said here, right? Because this is Ross Hardwood, I believe. Ross Hardwood basically said here, he says, remember who was first. Payment structure was what slowed this down, but agreement on fee has been in place for weeks. No surprise, it's been reported now. And he basically just goes on and says, Manchester, and this was his tweet that he tweeted about June 5th. This is quite close anyway. He says Man United have now offered 50 plus just over 10 million in add-ons and it has been accepted. Brentford wanted 50 million before add-ons, which club has now agreed to meet. Personal terms already sorted. Deal can now be considered done. Welcome to my United, Brian Mbeumo. And he has been actually persistent about this situation. He has been persistent about this situation, and he's been bold on that front. And I have to give him that credit because you see here, June 24th, Brian Mbeumo is a Manchester United player. You also then go down. You literally see okay, Mbeumo deal June 19th, financial structure of the deal is being finalized. Fee is agreed, but payment arrangement is the holdup in announcing this. Said to be resolved in the next few days. Please be patient. He will be a Manchester United player. Just the technicalities to finish. So he has been really bold about a lot of things, and to me, that's just crazy news. It is absolutely crazy to me. David, what's up, man? He says, "Good evening, man. I appreciate you. Good evening." He says, "I really appreciate you for bringing this up. Thank you, man. I appreciate you." So this is Ross Hardwood. He has been really strong in terms of his statements in the last few days about Manchester United, especially. But let's just run it through and just see. Okay, so you see in June 7th, it says Hoyland to Inter is on. Player is open to the move. Work is being done to reach an agreement on whether it will be a permanent deal or a loan with obligation. Club are against loan with option as they want a guaranteed sale at the very least, regardless of it's the summer or next, or if it's this summer or next. So that's definitely what, and like he has definitely been really strong. And you also see in this situation here, Sancho to Fenerbahce looks like a matter of time. Expected expect the fee to be around 20 to 25 million. Brother, give me that, I'll bite your hand off. Give me that, I'll bite your hand off. You get me? And then he goes here, he says, Arsenal signing Sheshko, which is no surprise given Gyökeres deal was never on for Arsenal. Victor wants United. I want you guys to pay attention to this, right? Pay attention to what this kid is saying. Pay attention to what Ross Harwood is saying. Now, I honestly do not know him personally, nor do I know this, but you see right here, he is being followed by 56,000 people, going on 57. And so, based on what he has been saying, things look a bit real. You get me? He says here, right? And this is the key part about this situation. He says here, Arsenal signing Arsenal signing Sheshko, which is no surprise given Gyökeres deal was never on for Arsenal. Victor wants United. I want you guys to understand this. He also then backs this situation June 15th. He says Gyökeres deal has never halted. Arsenal's interest had already come and gone before he started pushing for the Manchester United move. Media behind and making it seem like a fresh twist when it is already cleared up. Gyökeres wants United. I want you guys to understand this. This guy is quite bold with his statements. You understand me? He's quite bold with his statements. And to me, that gives me a bit of like, okay, I need to pay attention to him. Like I hit the follow button. Don't get me wrong, I hit the follow button real quick. I want to actually know whether what he's saying is actually true. And then I know that this kid and this cat is definitely one for us to actually understand that he is going to be a big shot in this industry. When it comes to actually breaking the news, he is going to be a big shot in the industry. And so, like, we need to pay attention to that situation. You understand? Of course, we will let's focus or let's look at what Central Devils are talking about. Ruben Amorim, key factor in luring Brian Mbeumo to Old Trafford. We can definitely go on that situation, but we don't really need to. Now let's go about this situation about Laurie Whitwell on if Barcelona signing Nico Williams will stop Marcus Rashford for to Barcelona story. This is absolutely crucial here. And I want you guys to actually read it with me. So let's get into it because I think Marcus Rashford is absolutely at the crossroads. He is at the crossroads in his um in his career. He's at the crossroads in his career because if he moves to Barcelona, and he flops there, I think we are going to be seeing Marcus Rashford either going to the MLS or going to Saudi because no big club is going to give him the opportunity anymore. Now let's look at this situation. Laurie Whitwell was at Stretford Paddock, so shout out to that. I think yeah, I follow him too. So he basically says here, it is very telling. It was very telling, wasn't it? In that interview with the Spanish YouTubers, if you guys do not know, Marcus Rashford had an interview with some Spanish YouTubers where he was talking about Barcelona and wanted to play with Yamin Yamal, and that was also crucial. So we are going to get into it. It says here in that interview with the Spanish YouTubers that support Barcelona, those kids support Barcelona, by the way, wearing a Barcelona shirt. It was literally well crafted in my mind by Marcus Rashford's team to kind of get this story out there. And guess what is happening? We are talking about him. So you can tell why that interview has happened there, right? He built up the fact that he can play as a number nine, so he can clearly from his point of view, Nico Williams doesn't make it terminal that he could go there as well. So based on what is seen here. It has basically been Marcus Rashford in that interview was talking about him being able to play from the front, being able to go from the middle, and all those things. And in that interview, especially, he was talking himself up because you see Barcelona are looking to replace Lewandowski within this year or next year. Barcelona is going to be doing that, and so I think Marcus Rashford is putting himself in place for Barcelona to understand he can be an understudy. to Lewandowski. He can be somebody that will take over that number 9 shirt from Lewandowski, and that is what he's trying to do. He went to Aston Villa and he played the number 9 for the most part of the game. You saw him being chosen over the likes of Ollie Watkins, and that was to me very shocking because I never understood why um, Unai Emery would actually do that. I never understood why he would actually do that. But one thing is for sure, we saw Marcus Rashford actually play the number 9 position. Now he did not do the greatest in Aston Villa, where he scored 20 goals like how he did after the World Cup last time at Manchester United. But he was quite better than when he was at Manchester United. So him going to Barcelona, if it actually happens, he needs he needs to actually have a fire lit under his behind. He needs to actually get back to being the Marcus Rashford that we love coming out of the academy. So that's definitely one thing that we know for sure that this is going to happen. So it's kudos to him that it is actually possible. And then you look at Laura Whitwell talking about Emi Martinez also. Manchester United have been in touch with Emi Martinez camp. I do believe United are in contact with quite a few players in different positions. They are assessing the market, what might work, so that so that's why you get the Christopher Nkunku's leaks as well. For an example, does this mean they are going to act on that? I don't think so. Certainly not in all cases. I want you guys to understand something. With Emi Martinez, I'm going to say this as crystal clear as possible. Emi Martinez is not a better goalkeeper than Andre Onana in the Premier League, especially. I do not believe he's a better goalkeeper than Andre Onana. Andre Onana last season had 4 errors that led to a goal against his post against Manchester United. Emi Martinez had six. Six. Of course, we know the this guy. You understand? We know that guy. We know the guy that has an uncanny knack of saving penalties. We know that guy. But one thing is for sure. Emi Martinez, in my humble opinion, is not better than Andre Onana. If we are going to lose Andre Onana, we need to get better. We need to get arguably double the effort and double the goalkeeping abilities. Not go for an older, um, to me, worse goalkeeper. Ruben Amorim is definitely interested in Victor Gyökeres. There's certainly been discussions around Victor Osimhen. They are definitely looking at strikers. Hugo Ekitike has done well for Frankfurt, but there are different types of strikers, aren't they? Good money being talked about as well. And I think it comes down to that. I think sorry, excuse me. By the way, this is Laurie Whitwell. I think that that's why they wanted to get Mateus Cunha, another forward, Brian Mbomo, and they feel comfortable with them, or with comfortable then with the level of goal scoring in the team that gives them a little bit of more leverage with clubs that they might be talking to strikers from. So that's definitely one situation about this possibility. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about this situation down in the comments. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't. We have gotten a lot of people watching this, so make sure you guys hit that like button. Comment down below what you think about this whole stories that we have spoke about. We have spoken about Arsenal signing Nørgaard. We have spoken about Arsenal going for Kepa and actually getting it done. We have spoken about Manchester United's troubles, Jadon Sancho, every single thing about this video. So make sure you guys like it. If we gave a value to what you like to watch, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, turn on your notification if you haven't. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace. Love y'all.